Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nenna, and today I am back with the Not So Berry Challenge. So we're back with Rosie, and oh my god, you guys, I have to show you the new, well, not the new, but I have to show you the restaurant. It looks so good. Remember Rosie's, the restaurant that Pepper set up for Rosie? I wanted it to look way fancier, and I think I think I may have outdone myself. I can't even talk about whatever. I made it really fancy, and I really need to visit that in this episode. Rosie is actually, well, let's start with the obvious first. It's Thursday. Julie is out for a run. She took Leroy with her to keep her some company, and Rosie was just kind of staring into the oblivion. She wanted to write about something that was on her mind, perhaps an article, perhaps she read about something, she remembered something, and then she decided, hey, I want to put it on paper. This is the first time she's ever written anything, and she doesn't really know what to do. What's even the point of this, Get it out of her head, put it on paper. This is a good start for her because, as you guys know, we're gonna have to eventually write a book. I feel like perhaps writing could be like one of her things. What if she writes romance novels under like a false name? Oh my god, she's lecturing me. Oh, damn, Julie. Something else I really want to talk to you guys about is Trevor. Oh, I don't. Should I touch upon Trevor right now? Yes, I should, because we're going on a date tonight. You guys are like, a date already? We just stood this guy up. But here's the thing. Remember when Trevor was like really butthurt that she chose his brother over him? He's almighty and fine. How could she do that to him? Like, she doesn't have a will of her own. She's just supposed to pick Trevor. Well, Trevor called the other night and he was like, do you want to go on a date tomorrow night? And of course, Rosie wanted to say no, but before she could say no, he was like, you kind of owe me this. Like, do me this favor. I know you don't want to go out with me. For everything that I've been through, you owe me this much. She didn't really want to reject him, especially since he was playing on her feelings. It would be kind of nice to get away from Julie and this negative space. So we're gonna go on a date with Trevor today. Oh, honey, let's put something else on. I'm gonna get Rosie ready, gonna get Trevor ready, and then let's meet up at the restaurant. Oh my god, you guys are gonna scream when you see where Trevor is taking our girl. Oh my god, that was Pepper. There is a slight chance that Pepper really didn't notice her and that Rosie hasn't noticed her either. Well, Pepper doesn't really recognize. I mean, she would recognize her daughter, but at the same time, since she looks so different, I think she would have to like look twice. I wonder if Rosie does know that she's here because she's kind of like staring into the bathroom. Anyway, I just want to do a quick toast and then let's just order for all and get some. Oh yeah, I forgot I didn't allow. Oh, we clearly have to work on the menu, but yeah, let me order some ribs. I think that's like the fanciest that I can think of at the moment, but either way, this is the renovated restaurant. What do you guys think? Fancy toilets. We've got a place where we can buy some cupcakes for, is that cupcakes? I think these are ice creams for like 90 simoleons. Yeah, ice cream. Okay, anyway, all is good. Pepper doesn't seem to realize that we're here, and thank the frick for this black glass divider. And I just kind of want to see what he wants. Of course he wants to get married to me. Like, why, who doesn't want to get married to me? He also wants to dance. I don't think I can dance because I don't think I added a stereo, but what can we do? He wants to talk to me, he wants to be tickled by me and play, so let's just quickly do that. I really want a good date. Unfortunately, with these dates, I always find that between having a storyline and a good time and just trying to get your date to go past the minute, it can be a struggle. It can really be a struggle. So let me just get this to a few minutes and then we'll see if we can really talk. All right, so it wants to flirt. I really don't feel like flirting, but what if I just I don't know if checking him out counts, honestly. Play with me, appreciate, okay, admire him. What do we even want? Okay, so apparently we want to give a back rub to this man. Honestly, you guys, we've just made it here and this is already going horrible. Like, how is my day going so horrible? I'm literally scoring so many points. None of this is counting towards our date. I really don't get it. I feel like I'm trying so hard and it just doesn't count. Am I gonna have to redo this again? Oh, game. You heard? Guess we have some time to start to work on the storyline. As Rosie is getting, sitting down at the table, Trevor's like, hey, I really like this song. Would you perhaps care for a dance? And Rosie doesn't necessarily feel like it, but at the same time, she's here and Trevor's so enticing and she's like, okay, whatever, I'll do it. So even though there are only two dancing, Trevor is loving this moment, and Rosie has to admit she kind of loves it as well. Doesn't often make herself the center of attention, and she does what she does for attention, but at the same time she doesn't intentionally, I don't know, I don't feel like she does the, how do I even say this? You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say, right? I wonder if there's a mod to make these dates a little more bearable. If not, I'm just gonna have to like go out for an outing or something, because you never really get a chance to do much on these dates. Oh, why do you want to kiss me? All right, I'll give you like a peck on the cheek, just a little tiny peck. And now she wants to marry him. Girl, you do not want to get married. You're telling yourself you want to get married, but you really do not want to get married. Let's be real. You do. We all know how you were like. While they're making out, let's just pretend that Rosie's kind of like surprised and shocked that Trevor would bring her to this restaurant, and at the first glance she doesn't really recognize it, but then as she's getting closer, she's like, holy crap, this is my restaurant. This is the restaurant my mom bought for me. Like, what if I run into my mom here? But as time goes on and she doesn't really see her mother, she gets a little bit more comfortable, and perhaps a little too comfortable, you never know. By the location, everything is going fine tonight, and she's having a lot of fun with Trevor. Let's just pretend they actually sat down. It just never goes. I swear, next time we're just gonna go on like an outing. Way more chances of just actually doing things. But either way, she's having a really great time, and she actually doesn't regret coming here at all. It feels like even the staff doesn't recognize her, but that is true because a lot of the staff that I hired are all new people, so they don't really know Rosie at all, which is kind of nice in this case because nobody really knows her. Oh, Pepper's here. Oh, Rosie definitely saw her mother, but I don't think her mother like noticed her at all. Oh my gosh, Rosie, I had no idea that you had your own restaurant. Yeah, I kind of do, but my mom bought it for me and she wanted me to take after her, but instead I guess I took after my other mother. And he's like, your other mother? He's like, yeah, I have two mothers. Yeah, my mom, the one that birthed me, and then there is my other mother, the one that abandoned me and that turned me against my family and is now in jail. And I love how she drinks and she's like, when you're saying, like, when you're spilling the beans and you just cannot stop giving those looks, that's what she's doing. She's like, with her eyes. Oh my god, Pepper came over. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna have Rosie follow. Where did Pepper go? To the bathroom. I feel like this is the perfect opportunity to talk to her. There's nothing more awkward than seeing your mother seeing you, and then you pretending like not to see her. There's no avoiding this. She totally saw us. We totally saw her. Let's just end everything. Trevor, this was a lovely date, even though it only lasted 2 minutes, but that's probably as long as you last anyway. Thanks, it was really fun. This has definitely put Trevor in a different light. We're able to kind of appreciate him differently. He's always kind of been like this creepy guy that just turns up everywhere. Oh, wait, this guy is kind of fun to hang out with. He's not all that I thought he was. Something like that. Either way, as much as you can, find out in 2 minutes. Pepper, can we freaking talk to you? And I think that Pepper kind of came over because she did want to talk to Rosie, but then as she came closer, she wasn't really sure if it was her, and then she was with another person. She had some sense in her, even though it's Pepper. It doesn't look like we actually can have a talk with her. Once we're home, we're gonna invite Pepper over in the morning. I feel like it's just because, she's working, we're not actually able to do anything with her. Well, let's just say that Pepper's busy. She didn't really want to confront, how it is, and Rosie just thinks and thinks and thinks about it, and then when she gets back home, she's like, I guess I really have to face her because I cannot ignore her after seeing her. Like, I cannot pretend I just didn't see her. You know what I mean? Like, I cannot do that anymore. So he wants to make out with me. Okay, yeah, sure, a quick makeout session before I get into the taxi. This was a great date. Even though, like I said, it lasted very short, this was still a really great time, and I'm really happy that we did it. I'm really happy that we came. Sometimes the lack of time really does bum me out because I want to talk and say so much. I really cannot because there's just no freaking time. But Rosie definitely had the greatest time, and you know what it is? You know what's this? When yeah, one of those 3-4 things I just said. Julie has stayed up to make sure that Rosie is all right, because Julie herself has sensed that he is kind of creepy. He's a little weird. So she just wanted to make sure that Rosie came home safely, and I think this is a good time to kind of talk. And I feel like this is like an icebreaker, you know, like, oh, you just wanted a date, girl, you look great, how is your date? Invites Rosie to talk a bit about herself and to let Julie in and to kind of forget about the past, you know, even though it is mostly Julie being weird. Cannot forget Rosie is Pepper's daughter, and you all know how Pepper is. I feel like Rosie is really mild considering how Pepper is. Hey girl, how was your night? Oh, you know what? I actually had a really great time. He looked nice, he smelled nice, we ate some food, but you will not believe where he took me. He took me to my restaurant. You know, the one that my mom bought for me? Yeah, that creepy mother. Oh my god. I know he's putting down some flowers, but I swear he is creepy. That's just creepy. No, I just feel like it's natural for him. Where's Julie going? Julie is very surprised about Trevor taking her to her own restaurant, but okay, here's the thing. Julie thinks, she's not telling Rosie this, but she feels like there's something behind it. She's like, are you sure that he didn't know about this restaurant? Are you sure he didn't know about, you know, you and your mother? I mean, he must know that you haven't seen your mother in a while. And Rosie's like, yeah, I did kind of tell him that me and my mother are on like the best terms, but how would he know that I owned that place if, you know, I never really said anything to him? And I haven't been there in such a long time. Like, how would he know? Lily's like, yeah, how would he know? How would he know where you live? Rose is really tired, and I think that she would appreciate Julie for staying up for her and for making sure that she's all right, but she also wants a peace and quiet. She wants to get back in bed. Julie feels really weird about this all. She's just, you know, when there's just this feeling like something is off. It's not necessarily the fact that he wanted to hang out after, you know, the whole wedding thing. I think it's nice of him. I think she thinks that too. But it's more so that she doesn't really get why he has such an interest in her when doesn't feel like the two are compatible, if that makes sense. And perhaps it's just Julie that doesn't really like Trevor and she's projecting, but there's just something about her, about him, and about her seeing him that just doesn't feel right. I'm definitely gonna have to, I mean, I really want to decorate more of the house, let's be honest. Like, I just cannot stand the fact that this is what her house looks like. I think our next project will be the living room, just because it's a common room and they would both put in some, oh, speaking of I want Julie to have a job, okay? So I was gonna have them, you know, do their own things, but I feel like Rosie really has to go out woohoo with a bunch of guys to get her lifetime one done. We're never gonna get there if Julie is with us, because Julie is like not like us at all. I feel like if she went to work and kind of made a life for herself that way, then it would work out for the better. And I feel like I need like an oxygen tank. Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna not cheat, but I'm gonna make sure that I get her a job through this computer. Where is it? We don't have a job, right? Time pet job. Am I dumb? I cannot find it. Real estate, work at home. Oh, career. Okay. And she wants to be in the, what is it? Criminal career. I'm not even joking. She wants to become a criminal mastermind. Like, we don't have much money, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open the genie lamp, get some money, and then I'll use the money, whatever I have left after doing the living room, I'll put in her savings. Obviously, Rosie and Guy are gonna have to slowly repair the relationship. I really want them to have a relationship, and since he's the one, you know, that, well, not got away, but we're the one that got away, but since he's the one that we failed to marry the first time, we're gonna have to marry him a second time, and we're an elder, so we're definitely gonna have to repair the relationship. But there's no rush, so that's nice. We can just take our time and slowly, let's just say over time, things change, we get older, wiser, whatever, and that's kind of how we're gonna rebuild her relationship, which I think sounds like a great plan. I'm kind of interested to see how this Trevor route is gonna play out. I really want to give it a chance. I think it's gonna be funny. Maybe there's gonna be some drama, especially since they're brothers. Plus, Trevor is weird. He really is weird. He really is a stalker. Julie is not that far away. She's not far away, but she's not that far off. Her conspiracies and her fantasies about him. There was something wrong with him. We just don't really know what it is yet. But there's one thing that we do know for sure is that he's very cuddly and he's really creepy. So the two C's. Cece. We're gonna have to call him Cece from now on. I want Pepper to come over because I really feel like this is a talk that really needs to happen. I want to order delivery. Actually, you know what? Yeah. No, wait. Hold up. I'm gonna take a shower. I'm gonna wake up Julie. And then how about Julie orders a pizza? And then we get a chance to kind of tidy up around the house. And then when Pepper comes, we'll just have Julie take a walk or something. That'll be really nice. At least, right? At least the one thing that we don't have to worry about is the house, because Pepper's the one that kind of took care of that. Like, remember the throne she put in? Like, yeah, she took care of our house for us. So we at least don't have to pretend to have more than we have. But what she's gonna think about her face, oh my god. Rosie is so anxious, but like she knows she has to do this. This is something that really has to be done. Oh, what are you trying to make? Yeah, I ordered pizza. I don't know why you want to make some strawberry bagels. Right, Pepper is coming. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm neglecting you. Where's his bowl? Oh, it's our mother. Oh my god, this is... No, don't eat first. Don't eat first. Greet your mother. Okay, she came here to see you. There she goes. Rosie is greeting her mother. Oh my god, let's go inside and eat. Where are you going? Coming inside? Julie, I thought you were taking a walk. No? Julie really wants... I guess Julie wants to be here. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. This is so awkward. Like, we're just... Hold up. God. Really, guy? You really have to steal my newspaper? Oh, come on. All right, Pepper. Look, I love you, Julie, but it's really time for you to go jogging. Okay? This is some mommy-daughter time. You need to get yourself out of the house. Okay, get another slice. Sit down. This is awkward. You know when your mother comes in, she greets you, but she says nothing else, and you're just like sitting there eating pizza in silence. You know shit's about to hit the fan. But Pepper's never really been good at expressing her feelings. This is really weird as well. Like, look how they're talking. Hey mom, it's nice to see you. I definitely think she would say that. Perhaps we can hang out. I think that will be an easier way to sit and talk at this point. Like there's always something going on. Let's be real. Okay. Yeah, let's just behind the cars. Totally make my life easier, right? It was very nice of Pepper to show up. No, that's not what I meant. Even though that's true as well. It's really nice. You know what I think it is? Okay, I know, just another story in a story, but I feel like Rosie was waiting for Julie to leave for work. That's why we're sitting outside. Okay, that's my excuse. Anyway, this is a better interaction. Let's toss a football. I don't know, makes it less awkward. I think this is even more awkward. I think Rosie would start with saying that she saw her at the restaurant yesterday and that it looks really nice. And she, I don't know, even though she wasn't involved, she's really happy with the end result and she feels like it's really like her. Pepper explained that she made it in her idea. She wanted it to represent her daughter. She wanted a stylish, kind of fancy, modern, maybe not modern, but definitely romantic kind of not relationship restaurant. And she thought perhaps if she made it more like Rosie, then Rosie would be more willing to spend time on the restaurant. However, that's not really the case, and Pepper realizes that. She's like, I'm sorry, I should have never forced you to take over the business without asking you first. I'm really sorry about this, and I feel like we've definitely grown apart ever since, and I'm really sorry. And I think this is where Rosie kind of corrects her mother and says, it's not that because of the restaurant I haven't been in contact. I've actually been kind of avoiding you, and I wasn't really sure how you would react if you ever saw me again. And Pepper doesn't necessarily interrupt her, but before she gets a chance to explain more, kind of mentions her face looking different and the plastic surgery, and saying that she can tell that Rosie looks different and if Rosé wants to explain what she had done, she can do so, but without saying too much, she already can tell, like, this is a whole different daughter than she left behind. And Rosé kind of takes it the wrong way, and she's like, I knew this was going to be hard, but can you at least try to understand it from my point? Like, can you at least be happy for me? Can you say something? Like, she's very defensive, and it's because she's insecure, because she's afraid of what her mother will say. So she's looking for that, for that reinforcement, for her approval. And even though Pepper doesn't agree with everything, and because this is not the daughter that she she left behind, she doesn't want to, like, she doesn't want to what's the word? She doesn't want to chase her away. She doesn't want to make things worse. She just doesn't want to hurt her daughter. But at the same time, she looks so different. This is not the Rosé that she's come to know and love. She is sad about this. She's really sad to see how much Rosé's changed. She's really shocked as well. But like I said, she's trying not to say too much about it, not show her emotions, because really she does not want to chase her away. She's so happy that she's been able to see her and talk to her and hold her, that causing an argument over this because of her opinion about her looks and the way that it all happened. Of course, Pepper's hurt. Like, imagine your daughter just never talks to you and she just gets all these surgeries, and then the next time you see her, she looks like a completely different woman. I would be a bit like, okay. Oh, damn, Rosé, there was some anger behind. There was some power behind that one. I really wanted us to do something together, but since we don't have a TV, we're not really able to sit down. Okay, there it is. We're actually doing something together. Okay, so they're definitely catching up. They're talking about their feelings, and like I said, it's a bit hard for me to explain because I don't really know how to explain it either. Are we already done with that? Jeez, that was fast. Basically, Rosé's looking for her mother's approval. Even though she's so scared, she's trying to be open, invite her over, decided to confront her feelings, confront her fear. And Pepper, on the other hand, is upset. She's upset that Rosé took this long to invite her over, for Rosé to finally come and see her again, talk to her, like, let know. She's mad that she hasn't heard from her in so long. But she doesn't want to hurt her daughter. She doesn't want to chase her away. So she's wisely keeping her mouth shut. And especially about her looks. Can you just imagine, like, look at Pepper. I know Pepper looks really young. I probably should give her like a makeover and stuff, but looking at Pepper and looking at Rosé, it's like Pepper almost looks younger than freaking Rosé does. Like, I'm just saying, like, this plastic surgery, I like Rosé, but it's definitely aged her. It's definitely changed her. And as a mother, it's just so hard to see. It's so hard to accept this. Gonna take some time for Pepper to realize her daughter is still the same. Right now, it's all just, I guess it's just first impressions, right? And first impressions from Pepper to Rosé is that Rosé is struggling and she's going through a lot. Not being there for her daughter would make things worse than, keeping her mouth shut. So she decides to suck it up. That's a big thing for Pepper, for grumpy old Pepper, let's be real. When I say that everything is back to how it was, it definitely isn't. It's not like a very emotional reunion. I feel like it's a very awkward reunion, but that's because Rosé doesn't really know how to do feelings well, and that's because Pepper definitely doesn't know how to do feelings well. And it's always been like this between the two of them, but it's really nice. It's really, really, really nice for them to catch up. And I think the last thing that Rosé is gonna start, she's gonna end the conversation before she goes home. Rosé decides to tell her about the wedding that almost happened, and even though in a moment Pepper, for a split second, Pepper wants to be mad, Pepper wants to be angry at her daughter for almost getting married behind her back and excluding her family and friends like that, but she doesn't. She holds it in, she listens to her daughter, and she decides to be there for her. Look at her. Look at her. She's like, you left him? Girl. Honestly, in a way, this is a really nice ending because they're talking again. Like, we have a new love interest, so to say. We've got Julie and Rosé kind of, interacting again, being friends, and then we have Rosé and Pepper being friends again. It's really nice. However, we already know, like, Rosé's gonna have so much problems to deal with. Yes, we're finally able to invite Pepper over and have parties and whatever. Like, Pepper's back in our lives. I'm so happy that we can now get over the beef. We've confronted ourselves. Like, maybe you guys wanted me to, wanted Pepper to be mad at Rosé, but I feel like Pepper has learned from the past that confronting Rosie with her problems does not work. The only way for Rosie to deal with things is to experience it, learn from it, grow from it, and then she'll come back. And she cannot be there for her daughter and keep her safe if she pushes her away again by being too much. So it's not everyone's parenting style, but then what can you do? Rosie is a grown-ass woman now. She's like, what, maybe 30, not 30, maybe 30? No, let's say she's mid-20s, going through her 30s. So let's say that. Because I feel like that's a nice age to, you know, bang the whole town. But it's a nice age-wise to kind of like get this aspiration done. Because you're not like too young to do it. I mean, there's not like anything, but you know what I mean? Like, not a 60-year-old like banging the whole town. She's a woman, but she's also not too old because you do have to have a baby. And I feel like age-wise, it wouldn't make too much sense because she's definitely going to be younger than Pepper. And Pepper was definitely in her 40s when she had like Rosie, I think, or maybe like mid 40s. So age-wise, I think Rosie has to be in her 30s to get the baby to be, you know, younger than Pepper. Whatever, you know what I'm trying to say here. Hey guys, this is also going to be the end of the episode. Sorry if it was a bit all over the place, but I'm really crazy. No, like, yeah, that too. I don't know, I just wanted to get so much done, and yet I never get much done. Anyway, in the next episode, I'm gonna go and see if I can like bang the whole town. Like, honestly, I need to finish this quest. I need to do more of this. I don't know how many lovers we have, but 20 is a lot. So perhaps I'm gonna make some guys and we can just go to a place and just do like some speed, I don't know, something, you know what I mean? Not speed dating because a minute per guy is not like very much, but perhaps we can do something else. We just go to a park and just like literally just do an old school episode with little storyline and just smooch the whole town. It's kind of like we did with Pepper at the beginning, which was kind of fun. Anyway, I want to thank y'all so much for watching this episode. I'll see you guys. I see you all in the next episode. Bye. Hey guys, it's Nenna from the next day. As you can tell, my cold got worse, so I apologize for the way that I sound, but I did kind of want to talk more about what I said in the last few minutes of this episode. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to watch this little speed build or speed decoration video of me just spending as much money as I have or can on the rest of the house and just making it look more livable. So what we ended with was Rosie and Pepper kind of reconciling, and I want to touch more upon that because it's very not Pepper-like to really, you know, suck it up. But you know how Rosie had quite a hard time growing up. Like, for the most part, Pepper wasn't there emotionally, and then her other mother, Danielle, wasn't there either. And then, of course, when she found out that Danielle existed and that Pepper was hiding her from her, you know, for her own good, but she didn't know that, she was just dying to get in touch with her mother because she thought, this woman, this mother can give me all the love and attention that I want, that I need. And she lured her in with all these fake promises and whatever not. But in the end, she ended up sleeping in the middle of the living room. She never had any rooms of her own, you know, and things were just so hard for her. And the longer she was in it, the more that she wasn't able to get out. And it wasn't until, you know, they proved that Danielle set fire to Pepper's house that everything kind of came to an end. And Rosie was ready at that age where she was able to move out and either move on her own, like move out on her own, or stay with Pepper. But since she was planning, you know, she planned on going to college, and Pepper really wanted this for her as well. It was like the best thing for her, the best opportunity to get away from everything. They opted to just like not live at home, but for her to live in the dorms, and she did that for years, and that's where she met all those people, and she had it so hard there as well. She never really dealt with the Danielle stuff. I think that deep down inside she's still very much hurt about everything, but she has decided not to touch upon that subject. But I think because she's not touching on the subject, because she's avoiding the subject, this is the whole reason why she has this lifetime wish. She wants to be loved so much, and Pepper not being there emotionally for her and now trying to do it but still unable to, you know, really give her the love and care that she wants. Seeking that in men or even women, I don't know quite yet, but I'm pretty sure a woohoo is a woohoo, a lover is a lover, honestly. I'll have to check if she has any interest in women, but I don't think she has. But honestly, it makes so much sense why she would go and, seek out these lovers, and why she would be able to or not be able to really keep a relationship. And I think her friendships are tricky as well, because she's seeking something from anyone that she sees and is close to her. And she could very well take things very personal, like she does with Pepper, when Pepper doesn't necessarily accept how she looks. And her friend to judge her so harshly for her leaving, Guy at the altar, it definitely hurt her a lot. And I think that Julie was right in a way that Pepper doesn't really not Pepper that Rosie wasn't necessarily or isn't necessarily able to really judge things really well, because she's just focused on like this emotion and this seeking of, I need this, I need it so badly. Nothing else matters. And since nothing else matters, Guy's feelings just didn't matter in that moment. And I don't think she purposely did it, but I do think that subconsciously this was what was going like on in her head, and she just like doesn't realize it. And I think Julie is very observant like that, and Julie can tell if someone is doing some things that they shouldn't be doing. I think many people can, but I think since Julie's living with her, she's very good at judging a character and kind of figuring out what they need. And she might be a sweet girl, but look, she wants to be in the criminal career. Like, I think she has some balls. I think she's grown some over the years. And I think she would tell Rosie, how it's done, how it's not done, because they're friends, and friends do tell each other that kind of thing. And she really needs someone to tell her, like, you cannot do this, you can do this. This is not the way that it's done, but perhaps this is the way that you can do this, or that it's done. That's probably the main reason why Julie and Rosie will fight a lot, but I think they do deeply care for each other. And it's fun because Julie does not trust Trevor at all. And I really want to talk about Trevor so bad. Like, I have so much storyline in mind for him. And for Rosie, like, I really want to, throughout my Let's Plays, I want to touch upon different subjects. So I'm not really going to touch upon Trevor for a lot. But for a lot? Yeah, I guess so. In Dutch, that would make sense, I think. Would it make sense? No, not really. Either way, I have a cold, so I'm excused for my random babbling of today. Basically, Rosie and Trevor are going to be in for like a roller coaster of things, and Julie is going to see right through it. But whether or not Julie can save Rosie from whatever's going on is the question, because is Rosie willing to look past a person? I'm not gonna say anything further because I don't want to spoil too much, but the thing is, Rosie does not per se like Trevor. They're not necessarily compatible, but Rosie is very sensitive to emotional blackmail, emotional abuse, and since she's already been through it, it could very well be that she has a past with it. And you know how sometimes with survivors of abuse, they seek the kind of abuse or situations that are not memorable, but recognizable to them. And I don't know if it gives them comfort or it's just a habit. It's just that they think this is normal. I'm not really sure, but we're going to go that way. Let me just say that. And I think I'm saying too much. It doesn't really matter, actually. Maybe it does. No, it doesn't matter. Now, I wanted to talk about Pepper and Rosie also, just a little bit. Like I said, after everything that happened, Pepper knows not to push her too far, not to confront her too much, because every time she does, it backfires on her. She shuts herself off, she goes away, and it's partly because of the, how she's been raised, because Pepper wasn't emotionally there. She wasn't able to give her any emotional qualities. She wasn't able to be an example. She was an example, but the example that she was is basically how she is right now. Like, she's not there, and she's not really good with emotions and feelings, and she'd rather avoid them. I can really relate in that, honestly. And second of all, Rosie was so scared to see her. I think she made it a bigger thing in her head, but once again, that's just kind of what happens. You think and think and think and overthink, and eventually you don't even know what the problem is anymore. And I think she just blew this out of proportion. She just didn't really know how to handle any of this and how to confront herself with the fact that her mother once told her, I really don't want you to get plastic surgery, and her doing it anyway, and then not just once, but multiple times, and changing her whole face. And she really wants for Pepper to say, hey, you look beautiful, but she knows her mother will never give her that approval. So rather than just accepting that, she's never gonna say, exactly what she wants to hear, she rather avoids it so that she doesn't have to ever hear that. But, you know, after seeing her at the restaurant, there was just no denying it. There was no going around it. She saw her. They had to meet up. They had to talk, and it worked out really well. If Pepper keeps up this habit of just putting up with everything and just trying to be there for her, I think that Rosie will not push her away. But at the same time, if she does need saving, Pepper is gonna have to like bring out the boss balls again, because she already lost her almost like once, and she's not about to lose her a second time. Talk about Pepper, I really do need to give her a makeover. We also switched houses. The house was bugged. There was a cat that kept coming in and it would just not leave, so I decided to just move houses easier, and plus more rooms, and I just want to use the house for like future episodes if possible. And since the robots are living there as well, I wanted some more rooms. So that's a little sneak peek into that. Anyway, I'm going to leave you all be. Hopefully I have enough footage for 10 minutes to fill. If not, I'm just going to have to cut the heck out of this. Thank you all so much for watching this video. And I'll see you all in the next episode. We're going to smooch some men. First, I'm going to make some men, and then we're going to smooch them. Because, girl, we need that. Anyway, bye guys.